Today, I want to speak about complex PTSD and twin flames. It's a very niche topic, but I feel that many twin flames come from very dysfunctional backgrounds and very, painful childhoods and narcissistic parenting, which leads to complex PTSD. So I will just offer a few clarifications of what these terminologies are and take this if you resonate. If you don't resonate with the whole thing, leave it be. Like I said, it's not for everybody. So, and then I will also explain why I'm speaking of it in the context of twin flames, the spiritual awakening that we go through, and all of that. Firstly, complex PTSD is separate from PTSD, just in case you don't know. PTSD is, let us say, a single discrete event that took place in your life that caused you to not be able to process that event, and it caused a freeze response or something like that, where you were not able to react to it properly, you were not able to process it properly. So it leads to this memory being stored in your body and you receiving maybe flashbacks or fear or some another very intense behavioral modification. It can happen to people who go to wars. It can happen through traumatic incidents that take place and all of that. What is complex PTSD, on the other hand? Complex PTSD as a term means that every single day life was hard as a child. So every single day you did not come home to a safe place. Parents were not loving, or they put a lot of conditions on you to become worthy. They compared you to your siblings, they pitted you against each other. Very typical of narcissistic parents to do that. Or they could have borderline characteristics wherein you were enmeshed with them. You had to read the room, you had to see, is my mother okay, is my father okay, how should I behave to make sure that they are okay. And you don't know that you're doing this because you don't have a context of a healthy childhood. That is the sad part. You think this is normal childhood for everyone until much later you realize, oh, this was extremely abnormal. Other children don't have it like that. And you showed extreme adaptation in your life. You became this brilliant person who adapted so well. You read the rooms, you became this super empath. You made sure everyone was comfortable. Your intelligence increased because these challenges, of course, they will forge some qualities out of you, and all those things will happen. So those qualities were what you were proud of, and you started to get a sense of identity from those qualities, that it's very good, I'm only useful when I'm needed. If suppose if nobody needs me, then I'm not useful, or I will only get love when I do this, when I'm needed first. That has to precede me receiving love. I have to earn respect, I have to earn value in life. And complex PTSD leads to some very dysfunctional beliefs about yourself. There is a toxic shame. Somehow something is so fundamentally wrong with you that everyone else is okay, but something is deeply shameful and wrong with you from the get go, that you can't even pinpoint what it is, but it is what was inculcated in you. This is extremely generational. Remember, like your mother or father being this way, it has come from a grandparent. Then the grandparents' narcissism has come from someone else. And I'm not throwing the term narcissism generically around, I'm speaking of something that is textbook proven, that literally actually fits into this criteria. It's not just a convenient abusive term that you're throwing around, to call people that don't agree with you, or the guy who left you or something like that. It's not like that. This is very clinically that I'm using these terms, narcissism and scapegoat abuse, because if you were scapegoated, which I think many people who spiritually awaken have a history of, then that becomes a very difficult identity to move through. Right now, coupled with all of this, depending on the intensity of this, sometimes sexual abuse is also present in these families, whether within the same family system or outside of it. And it is not something that the child has safety to come back home to, and to speak about or to defend himself or herself against. So it is a very, very, very sad childhood, and literally nothing is visible on the outside because you have adapted so well into proving yourself. So many people will go into proving themselves that they are okay, that they will overperform in school, right? And I feel in some Indian families, especially, this overperformance bit is very true. That you had to just come first to prove it to your parents that you're worthy of love. Look, I'm better than others, or I'm better than that. Why did you have to do that? Is simply because your parents were incapable of loving you the way you were. They could only love you for your achievements or what you did or the prestige that they could get out of you in society. Somehow, I don't know how socially we have adopted this in India at a very large scale, larger scale than any other country. Lots of research has gone there. You can find research on this. Some people have done that, and this has happened that unfortunately many Indian parents seem to think more about what you have achieved than you truly being happy. But this narcissism is much more than this. Narcissism is something which is very institutional, like the whole structure is against you. You don't even get along with your siblings because the siblings are also co-opted into this framework. They are also either made the golden child or something like that, right? And there is a lot of pain when you start to wake up from the system. The pain is that the family never belonged to you. You never belong to the family. And you will never belong to the family, nor will the family ever belong to you. You are meant to release this completely. You're not meant to be half-heartedly still trying to get something from this family, even financially or otherwise. That is just not going to happen. You're going to be waiting a long time and you're going to spoil your life. That is the intensity of this. This is not normal by any standard of measurement. So this abuse leads to very terrible behavioral adaptations in the person. Brilliant, but extremely terrible, far away from self-love, too self-sacrificing, too giving, too moralistic, too self-critical, not, having the ability to love yourself, respect yourself. So what is going to happen now when you spiritually awaken? A large part of your spiritual awakening might just look like recovery from complex PTSD. This has happened to me. A large part of my spiritual awakening has just been recovery from this, right? To the extent where I almost feel like there was no separation between awakening spiritually and this releasing itself from my system. Of course, there is the deep meditativeness, there is the deep stillness, but remember, like, a part of spiritual awakening is to get deconditioned also. Okay. So what does that mean? That everyone has to release their thoughts, their beliefs, what they were told. It's literally like whatever your family recruited you to do, the role that they asked you to play, because that is the role that you are playing way after you've left the family. You may have left home very early, but you don't stop playing the role. You don't, either you become very opposed to it, you become very bitter, you become very angry, or you become someone who is still playing that role with friends, with partners, with your twin flame, with other people in your life. You don't stop playing the role that easily, right? You have to be very aware and you have to release it. So everyone has this sense of releasing the conditioning. But for those with complex PTSD, where the nervous system is so programmed to not be comfortable, like, one physical symptom of this is that you can't just sit comfortably in a social situation. You're socially awkward. You don't know how to be socially. You're so aware of what everyone is thinking that you can't be yourself. And it's hard to explain it to someone who's not experienced it. Someone can trivialize this. Say someone who went through childhood sexual abuse can be trivialized by people who may say, what, why don't you forgive? Why don't you, the love and light spirituality that doesn't let you feel your anger and doesn't let you feel your disillusionment and the pain and, the misery that you did not feel as a child. They don't want you to feel it in your awakening because they're all about love and light. That is not a true spiritual awakening. So whilst everyone has to release this, those with complex PTSD have a harder task. The largest part of your awakening is going to come with reconciling with these patterns and facing the truth of your relationship with your family, as well as the events that took place. So what happens, when you grow up is also, there are a few more symptoms that are very profound besides the nervous system being very uncomfortable. in social situations. There is also this inability to occupy space. You're always apologizing for merely existing, for merely occupying space. You do a lot of people pleasing with strangers. You want everyone to think nicely of you. You go out of your way to please others, to have a good public opinion of yourself. Why? Simply because as a child, not having a good opinion of you meant not having connection. Your connection and your belonging that was anyway not given to you fully. It came at such a huge cost that was being exacted from you when you were just a little girl or a little boy, you know. So that is what lives in your body, and it's very hard to come out of it. So the awakening basically will first show you these flashbacks, these memories. You have to accept them, you have to reconcile with them, and then the whole system will go to the body, and the body will start relaxing, and then you will have to become fiercely self-loving to the extent that it is going to threaten your old identities that believe that there is so much capacity I have, to help others. How do I not deploy that capacity? It's selfish of me to not deploy that capacity. This was one of my biggest issues. So you have to stop yourself from becoming a wounded healer. You have to have such strong ability to say no when you mean no, irrespective of what others think of you, irrespective of relationships ending because you said no, because you asserted yourself in a different way. This is a very hard part because you will lose relationships, friendships, family. Those with this type of a background, they don't have a sense of family with the family of origin. It's very triggering to those who are, coming from loving families or would have had lesser conflict in their family situations and largely loving parents. Like in your case, the parents, etc., every energy is extremely sinister and dark towards you. You've literally taken birth in a family of your soul enemies or something of the sort from past lives, right? The lessons are also very intense. So for these people, the awakening is a no-nonsense awakening. The awakening is very intense because the suffering has been so large that it has matured you in such a manner that the awakening can be very intense. So there are no, shortcuts to your awakening. You have to go very deep, and at the same time, the awakening is more, you may say, it is intense in the sense that it packs up a lot of disillusionment in just a matter of a few years, right? You will be way ahead of your years in your age, in your wisdom, in your thoughts, in your understanding of life, in your observation capabilities, in what you have to offer, but you will have to be your own home. There is no other person who is your home. The twin flame journey also has the sense that you already know that your twin is not someone who is home in the physical sense. They are a mirror of your inner home. So when you come on the twin flame path and you have this complex PTSD history, or you have the childhood sexual abuse history, you are a spiritual warrior of a very high order, and this is not to prove or to thump your chest and say, I am better than others who are awakening. Absolutely not. This is your very personal, very sacred understanding of life through which you are moving with a very high capacity. And there are very deep lessons for you because your overgiving, your guilt, your wanting to rescue others is going to be so strong that those are going to present deep energetic leaks in your ascension process that will have to be plugged. Your apology for just merely existing, or apology for earning money maybe, or something else, or whatever else you do, that has to be then seen as well. So this is at a very deep level because such an upbringing, it doesn't allow you to accept success. It doesn't allow it. It gives you the sense that you have to be a failure, you have to be a martyr, you are you come last. And this awakening as a divine feminine is teaching you, no, you come first. So you see how you're basically going from an extreme to another extreme, right? So it is very difficult for the mind. That is why the intensity is higher for you, so that this breakdown can successfully happen for you. You will notice a lot of synchronicity with the goddess energies and many other things that happen. So your twin flame awakening is going to look very much like healing from complex PTSD. It is going to be psychological in nature. The psychological component cannot be done away with. Many people say it's an energetic this thing, this and that. We are a whole system. We are the energy, we are the body, we are the mind. You have to embody the energy also. You could energetically be experiencing, deeper states, but if the body is not able to embody that deeper state, then that state will not last. If the mind is constantly opposing and, going into battle with your energy, how will the energy be embodied? Right? So the purification of the mind and the body also take place on the journey. That is why the journey takes time. The dark night of the soul is long and pronounced, and it has these cycles, and you should not be rushing into a certain outcome that you wish to see. It's more about, I'm aligning with what the journey is teaching me, specific to what my life has been like, what my karmic structure is that I am purging. It's going to be so different for all of us, right? So for this is just a video. If you feel I have not been understood, why has my trauma been so much and all of that, and why did I have to go through so much that others don't seem to be going through? Why am I so opposed to, say, success, or I'm so opposed to joy, I'm so opposed to happiness, to just being free, while others can just, do some meditation and get there, or it's shorter or something like that? Why do I have persistent challenges from my family of origin? Right? Why so much independence is asked from me and others don't seem to be wanting to be having to prove that much independence? That can also happen. Maybe you will feel like you don't have any support. There is no marriage, or there is no another person giving you that support, a soulmate relationship or something else to help you, to ease you into the journey. It's not something to lament. It's just something to understand that the capacity is high. That capacity that has been built through the intense suffering, it meant that, first of all, that is what soul chose. So the soul would have already gone through something rigorous in the past. The soul would have already developed that capacity which you're seeing right now. And secondly, also the maturation point has been reached early, right? So the more intensity of karmic structure we have, the deeper our awakening can be, the deeper the stillness you can hold, the deeper your realizations can also be. It's just the law. That's just how it is. Like, the deeper in hell you go, the higher in heaven you will rise. This is not to now say that let me now go as deep as I can and become a conscious failure or a conscious sufferer or a consciously miserable person or develop a victim mindset. Yeah, one more thing here is that don't develop a victim mindset. You will be wallowing in your self-pity, but after some time you have to come out of it also. So this is not to say that this is what this behavior should be now. It's just that take cognizance of where has your life put you into. What is your journey teaching you? And your twin is also going to mirror these wounds. Like the low self-worth wound is what your twin can mirror to you through karmic situations or something else, or some other aspect. And even in the dream state, your twin can assist you. Not just that they have to be physically present in your life to help you to move through, these blocks. Your entire task basically is to take back your power. The whole idea of being a scapegoat, the powerless victim, and all of that in your childhood meant there was so much helplessness, and now it is turning the opposite in the opposite direction. So the opposite is going to look like having immense power, immense sovereignty. No one is going to sit above you and tell you what to do, right? Being very led by the heart, being a very intense feminine energy, very intense divinity is what you can hold within you. Being a truth teller, only the truth, nothing but the truth, only that, not having patience for untruth, not having patience for illusions, for smaller relationships, for smaller jobs, for smaller things in life that ask you to shrink to have some money or shrink to have some family connection or financial gain or something. You are not going to do that now. You know what is rightfully yours. If it comes to you, it comes to you. If it doesn't come to you, you're okay with even that. It brings that much of a surrender and faith in the divine, because who's going to awaken you from this abuse to your power? It's going to be your spiritual awakening, the hand of the divine here, right? Which is what leads to the blessing of the awakening also. So the path will look intense. It will look very deep, very, very painful. Memories like flashbacks, nightmares can be persistent. You can even experience lower energy attacks and other things, because that much is the intensity of your awakening. So I just felt like sharing this all of this comes from my own experience of awakening and my own experience of my childhood that I have not, personally shared any experience of. But I just wanted to give you this overview that you're not alone in case you have experienced this. And if you wish to work one on one with me, we go deep in these sessions, we move past these blocks, especially if this has been your life and you need any support, then I'm here. You can also subscribe to my Patreon page where videos go very deep. I recently posted a video on the eclipse window, how to use that energy of the eclipse window, what it's going to look like, as well as on twin flame telepathy and all aspects of it, how to make sense of the twin flame telepathy. Is it what it is called out to be, or how to even be a little careful with it and all of that. So that is at the tier 2 level. These links, you can check them out in my description box here. And I'm sending you a lot of love and take care.